Hey guys, be twice here. Today's Thursday, July 1st. Before we get into the Wave 3, looking at SPY, QQQ, and various other stocks, I just wanted to make everyone aware about my Twitter at B2. If I see quality setups throughout the day, even while I'm at work, I'll try to post them. Earlier today, I posted about AMD and Facebook. I saw them around lunchtime and I got in. I post about them a little bit later in the day, but ultimately, if I start seeing these setups, when I do see them throughout the day, I'll send something out on Twitter just because I think both AMD and Facebook were great dip buys today. But with that being said, let's look at this. So I do think, yesterday we talked about how we could have had a very shallow two, and that bears wanted to see another pullback, and yet we continued to trounce higher. So with that being said, I do think we bottomed for a shallow two. We've popped up for one, we pulled back for a two. I do think our price target of the 440 range is intact. I would like to see a significantly bigger dip before I will be getting into the SPY betting on going up to the 440 range. I just think the risk reward appears too high because we could eventually have a three-wave pullback, especially if my counting is wrong. So with that being said, risk reward here is not great. I'd rather like to see significantly better setups where we can get maybe some, you know, 3-4% gain days to where we can get some pretty big gains. All right, guys, let's look at QQQ. All right, so yesterday I talked about QQQ and watching for a flush at open and buying that dip if it happened. So yesterday I was saying that we probably hit somewhere between this 352 to 353 range, and I was expecting it to be shallow because of what we've been seeing in the market, and nothing seems to matter anymore. Everything just goes higher. Well, looks like I was probably right. I dipped my toes in when we came down here for this wave C. We hit my 100% extension. I saw it bounce off of that, and then I went long. So there's two things that can happen from here. I do think that we've hit our bottom for a bull wave two, but there is a bear wave two that is possible. So the reason I think that this is actually the bottom and ultimately we're going to be heading up into the 360 range in July is quick fun fact: QQQ has never gone negative in July ever. So it's always been positive in July. So with that being said, that's why I thought that this is going to end up being shallow, and I wanted to make sure that I was in QQQ for July in case we see another face ripping rally. I'm willing to take the risk that we'll go a little bit higher, and I'll eat the loss if this happens, because ultimately I just don't think that this is going to be the July that it goes negative, mainly because of what I'm seeing in Amazon, Facebook, AMD, other tech stocks that have been high flying lately. So, with that being said, I do think that we've hit our bottom. I took my long entry today and I see us going to the 360s. The bear case is we don't pass all time highs and that we're going to see another three wave move to the downside. And that three wave move is going to take us down to the 344, 348 range. So, if this does occur and we do see a significant drop coming, or happening, then we'll look for another entry to go long somewhere down here. But for now, I do think that this was a great entry, and we're going to be ramping up to all-time highs in the next couple weeks or so, or probably even in the next couple days, to be honest. All right, so AMD. I tweeted about this at the end of the day today. I think any dip on AMD is a buy. What I'm seeing is that we're actually in a white wave three. Um, So basically, we're in this finishing off this red wave three of this white wave three, and that's why we've been ripping the way that we have. So what I'm seeing is we bottomed for four back here, we popped up for one, pulled back for two, and our wave three price target's 96. From 96, we should see a pullback to the 92 range again, and then ultimately from there we should ramp up to 100. So any good dip on AMD will be a buy, just because we should be getting to this $100 price target in the near future. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened within the next 2 weeks, the way the stock has been moving. So we'll continue watching this, and I would continue buying dips on this just to try to run this up until we hit this 100 mark. Um, and it could even potentially go higher. I do see all-time highs for AMD here very, very soon. They were just upgraded to 120 as well, based on their data centers and everything like that. So AMD is a great stock to hold long term, and we should be seeing some more good price action on it in these upcoming weeks. All right, so Facebook. Facebook had their antitrust lawsuit dropped early this week, and that's why we saw this huge run up. So I waited for this pullback, and I bought this pullback. Um, what I'm seeing is that we're actually in a wave five right now, and we're in a wave three, this blue wave three of this white wave five. The white wave five is going to take us up into the 400 range, but in the intermediate term, we're going to see Facebook going up to 380, and that's going to be this wave three. And what I saw today is that we pulled up when we popped up for one, we pulled back for a two, and when we grabbed bottom today, I was like, okay, um, that'll be the entry. So we pulled back, went up a little bit, pulled back again, and that's when I went long. So ultimately, I do see Facebook going up to the 380 range. So any dip on Facebook where you can get a good buy is a good time to get in. All right, so PLTR. I wanted to talk about PLTR real quick because people were requesting me to show a video yesterday, so I quickly got on and said that, hey, we could be heading higher up to that 27 range, but technically we are a little bit higher up to 28, but technically we could have already topped, and that we could be heading lower. So the price action we saw today confirmed that we had topped, right? We topped and we were heading lower. So basically what we had, and I did a video on PLTR a long time ago, and I said I had us going to the price range of around 27, so we hit that. We hit our wave 3 price target like I'd called for. We pulled back for 4, and ultimately we did go up for 5. We had a 5-wave move up, so you can see 1, 2, this was a 3, pulled back for 4, this was a 5. So this is where I was confused yesterday. I didn't know, and this is what I was saying, you got to be careful with these levels. I wasn't 100% sure whether or not we were going to move higher or whether or not the 3 was already hit. Turned out the 3 was already hit, and we were heading lower. So what we have now is we've had a 3-wave pullback. You can see 1, 2, 3. So we've had 3-wave moves down. So we could possibly have bottomed here. As you can see, we took an extension from this move, and we hit the 161.8% extension. Now it could go all the way to the 261.8 if it keeps flushing. So that is possible that we keep flushing lower, and we could head all the way down to this bear 2 right now, which could be somewhere in the 23 to 20 range. Now I don't see that happening. What I think is going to happen is we're going to have bottomed here, and we're going to pop up for, at the very least, we're going to get a 3-wave move up into this 26, 27 range once again. The bulls need us to get past this to keep heading to all-time highs. If we can go to all-time highs, then that means that this bottom is in, and this was our wave 2, and we're heading up for wave 3. And then we'll be able to get a price target on wave 3 based upon this being bottom. But at the very least right now, what we should see is a 3-wave move back to the upside, unless we're flushing all the way down to the bear wave 2 right now. So bulls right here, you want to see us break all-time highs, heading up somewhere into the 30s. While bears, what you're going to want to see is you're going to want to see us get rejected somewhere in this 26 range, 27 range again. Usually when you have at least a 3-wave move to the upside, you at least hit the 50% retracement, which would put us at 26. Sometimes you can go all the way up to the 85.4, which is 27. So the bears want to see us, if we don't flush right now, the bears want to see this get completely rejected here and just flush all the way down. So we'll continue watching this, but if for some reason PLTR does completely flush down to this $20 range again, that'd be a great spot to buy calls. So we'll keep watching this and play it by ear. But I do think that even today's dip was a good buy, because I do think we're going to be going back up to the 26 plus range here before we see more downside, if more downside is coming. All right, so Disney, I've been screaming about this name, and I'm going to keep screaming about it. The rally is coming, so we've had green day after green day. We held support going back into the bull flag, so we had a 1-2, and we're heading up to 195. We've gone up for 1, we've pulled back for 2. We held 61.8. We popped up for 1, we pulled back for 2. So we're going to see a lot of 5-wave moves, but either way, we're in an orange wave 3. So at some point we're just going to rally, and it's going to be extremely fast. It's going to gap up, and it's going to leave a lot of people behind. So if you're not already in this name, I would recommend getting in as soon as possible. All right, so let's look at the elusive Coinbase. That just seems to hate me. Literally every time I get into Coinbase, it dies. Let's just put it at that. But either way, so Coinbase, what did we see today? So I keep forgetting to put the numbers on here, but either way, we popped up for our 1-2, a yellow wave 3, and we've had a 1-2, an ABC down. So right here could be bottom for wave 4. I'm hoping it's bottom for wave 4 because I'm betting on it going up to 280 right now. So we did get the downside that we hoped that we'd see. Hopefully got an entry, and hopefully we're going to go up to this 280 range. The bears want to see this continue flushing downwards. If it does flush downwards, then what that means is we actually had a 3-wave move to the upside, and we're going to go crashing pretty low. I think what's going to happen with Coinbase is all going to be based upon crypto. If crypto keeps dying, then I've been faked out again, and I will lose again. I'm going to continue really watching this trend line, and that's probably going to be my stop loss once again. If we break that trend line, I will get out. So we'll keep watching this name, but I do still think that this dip was a buy and that we will be heading to 280. Okay, so the last one we're going to look at is XOM. So ExxonMobil, oil price is probably going to keep rising. ExxonMobil is going to continue to do well because of that. What I see is that we are actually in a wave 5 right now. So this yellow wave 5, we popped it for 1, pulled back for 2. So we're in a purple wave 3, and we're looking for our purple wave 3 price target, which is going to be somewhere around between the 67 to the 73 range. Now, the price action we've seen putting a 1 all the way up here at the 64 and then pulling back for this 2, I ultimately think we're going to be at the upper end of this. I think that we're going to probably be somewhere at least between 70 to 73 and not down here at the 67, especially because now we popped it for 1, pulled back for 2. So we're in this red wave 3 of a white wave 3 of a purple wave 3. I do think July is going to be a great month for the Dow. I think it's going to be a great month for industrials and everything like that. So ultimately, I do think ExxonMobil is going to rally, and I think we should see this price target sometime before September, hopefully. Um, so I do think right now oil is still good to be long. With that being said, I think that's all. So that's all I have to look at for today. Um, if you guys like these videos, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. If you want to see any stock in particular, you can put in the comments and I will get to it when I can. If you want me to see the message earlier, you can tweet at me. And even if I'm not home, I could potentially look at a chart on my phone. So, all right, guys, if you like these videos, go ahead and hit like and subscribe.